Jalang'O is one of Kenny's celebrities who has been able to reinvent himself over time and remain relevant to his followers. Having come to the limelight as a comedian, he has thus far ventured in radio, television, and gone into business, and even established his own company, Reina Media. His rise to the top has literally been that of blood, sweat and tears. Jalang'O is a Kenyan comedian, MC, radio presenter, actor, and recently turned politician. He was born on 27 April 1983 in Homa Bay, Kenya. His parents were simple, hard-working farmers. Times were hard for the family, and on certain days getting free square meals was considered a luxury. The comedian turned politician is from a large family. He has 5 siblings, 2 brothers, and 3 sisters. He rose to fame with his name Jalang'O, but his real name is Felix. Jalang'O studied at Homa Bay Primary School. He had to walk a long distance to get there on time, and did it barefoot because his parents could not afford shoes. On his return back home, Jalang'O would not have anything to feed on. In spite of all these hardships, Jalang'O was an excellent student. He scored 427 marks out of a possible 500 in his Kenny certificate and primary education CAPES exams, and secured a seat at one of the top-performing national schools in Kenya, Maseno School. Unfortunately, the financial struggles in his family meant that he couldn't attend classes. His father struggled to scrape together the funds for his son's education, and thus sought help from friends and relatives. They raised money, but it was a little too late, as Jalang'O's spot had already been given to another student. They tried their luck at Barkingugona Secondary School in Sai County, but his father could not afford the school fee. Finally, Jalang'O was transferred to his brother's school, named the secondary. He used the Maseno High School uniform, as they couldn't afford to purchase a new set. Soon after, the burden of paying fees wore down Jalang'O's father. This led Jalang'O's brother George to drop out of school and give Jalang'O a chance at education. Even then, the responsibility of paying fees was still heavy on his father. As a result, he supplied maize and firewood to the school, something his schoolmates teased him about and gave him a hard time. Despite all these, Jalang'O completed his secondary education but didn't further his studies. Fast forward, Jalang'O is now a graduate of Daystar University with a degree in community development. He has made a name for himself and was one of the highest-paid radio presenters in Kenya. If anyone has worked his way from nothing to the top, it is Jalang'O. He worked hard in difficult and filthy conditions as a fisherman in Homa Bay to provide for his family. Later, Jalang'O moved to Embakasi, Nairobi, to visit an uncle. It was here that he was properly exposed to the arts and instantly fell in love with acting. He worked in construction sites, factories, and even at car washes to help his uncle put food on the table. After a hard day's work, Jalang'O would audition for various roles until he finally got a call at the Kenya National Theatre. For 3 years, Jalang'O worked as an understudy to the established actors until he finally landed some roles. After his stint in theater, Jalang'O got an opportunity to interview for a spot on the radio station Kiss 100. Needless to say, he passed the voice test and was hired, despite not having a degree at the time. Unfortunately for Jalang'O, his celebrations were short-lived as his father died on the same day. On his deathbed, Jalang'O's father requested that he look after his siblings and his mother. Having received a job at Kiss 100 prior to his father's demise, Jalang'O worked on various radio shows and gradually began to build his wealth. He was able to fulfill his father's dying wish and build a house for his mother and his siblings, with luxurious mansions worth millions in Nairobi and Sai. Jalang'O's house list seems to be growing steadily. Apart from his radio shows, Jalang'O also owns a company, Airy Media, from which he gains a substantial income. Jalang'O's YouTube channel also grew in popularity over the years. Jalang'O is now a politician. Jalang'O dropped the mic for politics. In the recently concluded general elections, he won the Member of Parliament seat for the Jalang'O constituency and will now be one of the Meshimis in Parliament. In the wake of his win, he gave his YouTube channel to his employees on the condition that they give him 20% of what they make. He also vowed to start a new channel but didn't give away details of what the channel would be about. He doesn't run out of ideas about what to do. This time, Jalang'O launched his new restaurant named Weight Delicacies, which means heavy and respectable. The restaurant specialist in selling African food, and he is in deliberations with his wife about selling alcoholic drinks. Meena Chow, Muslim woman from Mombasa County, is Jalang'O's current wife. Meena works at Safaricom, the Department of General Trade Visibility and Events. Jalang'O has 3 children from 2 different women. His oldest daughter is from his first wife, Cheptuk, and her name is Salik. His younger daughter is from his second wife, Meena, and her name is Amani. Jalang'O and Meena also have a son named Jamail Edward, who is the youngest of the 3 children. When Jalang'O first started as a comedian, he was barely getting by living off small checks. He lived in a small 1-bedroom home in Wiki. At this time, Jalang'O was dating a young lady named Avril, who turned out to be incredibly materialistic. The girl was wealthy and came from a well-off family. She paid all his bills and things seemed to be going well for the two. But she did not like the poor conditions that Jalang'O lived in and dumped him. A few years later, when Jalang'O started doing well for himself, his ex came back and alleged that she has a baby with Jalang'O. At the time, the comedian was married to Cheptuk boy and had a gorgeous girl named Salik. She demanded child support payments. When Jalang'O was to meet the boy, she refused outright and continued to demand money. Eventually, Jalang'O withdrew his support and demanded a DNA test to confirm his paternity. While his demand put an end to this saga, it had a devastating effect on Jalang'O's relationship with Cheptuk, and the two broke up. In 2019, Jalang'O married Meena Chow, who comes from a staunch Muslim family. Mina and Jalang'O's children are daughter Amani and son Jamail Edward. The son is so named to honor Mina's Muslim heritage. Unfortunately for Jalang'O, there were whispers about him being unfaithful to his lovely wife. Rumor has it that soon after the two tied the knot, Jalang'O rounded up some young women for a secret party where they were actually intended to be escorts. Many of the girls claim to have slept with Jalang'O multiple times, even after his second wedding. Controversial blogger Edgar published these claims on his YouTube channel. Needless to say, this incident put Jalang'O's relationship with Mina on the rocks. It was rumored that she walked out on him after the news broke, but came back as she was not interested in divorce. She believed that it would negatively affect their children, who are both below the age of 2. Jalang'O is one of the prominent people listed in the Wash money laundering expose done by controversial blogger Edgar. The longtime comedian, radio presenter, and businessman denied the allegations and further listed his sources of income. He said he was getting bad press as he had just announced his bid to vie for the parliamentary seat of Jalang'O constituency. On another controversial note, Jalang'O has been accused of being a womanizer. Just 2 months after his wedding, he was rumored to be having affairs with 2 other women. Despite this, his wife Mina Cho has been very clear about her decision to stay married to Jalang'O. In another controversy, Jalang'O's WhatsApp group chat club was exposed, again by Edgar, for their conversations about their sexual escapades. The comedian came clean on the issue and admitted that he was indeed part of the group, and that the conversation happened. At the same time, he stated that the group been in existence for a long time, the members are close friends, and that this was normal banter. He rebuked claims that he had been sent on compulsory leave as a result. Further, he issued no apology and said that the issue negatively did them greatly. Jalang'O's house is a luxurious multi-million mansion. He's also invested in building a house in his rural home in Helma Bay. It goes without saying that Jalang'O's cars are rather expensive. In an interview with a local publication, Jalang'O revealed he owns 6 cars of 8, Overfinch Range Rover, Mercedes Clec, Mercedes V-Class, and a Discovery. Jalang'O has really done well for himself. While the exact details of Jalang'O's salary have never been disclosed, the radio star has been heard bragging about pocketing a 6-figure salary. He recently revealed that his net worth is over $10 million. Jalang'O won the Silver Button YouTube Award in 2020. He was also nominated for 2 awards in the inaugural 2020 AFRAC Digital Influencer Awards. Jalang'O is from Helma Bay, Kenya. Mina Chow, a Muslim woman from Mombasa County, is Jalang'O's current wife. Mina works at Safaricom in the Department of General Trade Visibility and Events. Jalang'O has 3 children from 2 different wives. His oldest daughter is from his first wife, Chetuk, and her name is Salik. His younger daughter is from his second wife, Mina, and her name is Amani. Jalang'O and Mina also have a son named Jamail Edward, who is the youngest of the 3 children.